You talking to me?
No, I was talking to her.
Lollie.
I'm Lollie
Lollie.
McKinney-Surratt. I went to SWIP in the year 1948-49. I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee, by way of Chesney, South Carolina. My mother was a sixth grade student in South Carolina, which was equivalent to a teacher. And her one dream was to educate her family. So I cut my teeth on the word education. I lived in Chesney for the first 8 years of my life, and when my father was a World War I veteran, and in 1935, when the year that he was promised his bonus, she said that she wanted to move us to Johnson City where we could get an education, which she did. And it was sort of confusing to me because what I heard was boneless. And I wondered how in heaven's name I would get from Chesney to Johnson City on a boneless, because I just did not understand the word boneless. But anyway, I did come to Johnson City, and I attended the school there, and later Langston. And at Langston, there was a principal, J. Neil Armstrong, who had taught at Swift College, and he encouraged, and some of the other teachers there encouraged my brother to go to Swift College. And so he did attend, and the last 2 years, he later attended A&I State, and his last, it was A&I State College then. His last year there, he says, if you wait until I graduate from college, I will send you to college. And I thought, yeah, right. But anyway, when he finished, I stayed out my year, successfully managed to keep my life intact. He did send me to college, but he sent me to Morristown. And that's where I met, I guess, Dessa. And I was at Morristown with my freshman year, and then when I went to Swift my sophomore year, she was there. So I was thoroughly confused when I started coming to the Swift College reunions, because I knew her, but I couldn't figure out from where. But anyway, and when the year before I went to Swift, there was a minister at the Presbyterian Church that suggested that I go to do Bible school, workshops, and other things, and that way I would, sort of get a feel for going to college and going. I went to a holiness school. Church. I didn't go to Presbyterian. We just went to Bible school everywhere. But when my brother was at Swift, when he came home they had programs that the choir came to sing and other activities. The children would always come and eat at our house. So I just enjoyed all of those activities. So that sort of inspired me that further inspired me to go to Swift. I went to Morristown, and I liked Morristown fine, but I thought, well, I guess I might have been just formed in some adventure also. I said, well, I think I'd just like to go to Swift too, so I did. And my job at Morristown had been I had to sweep down 3 flights of stairs, and that wasn't very hard. And when I went to Swift, my job was picking up the bowls from the tables, from the meals. And before I went to college, I worked for a family of 3 going to 4 children and a mother and father. So when I got to college and doing this, well, then that was, pretty easy compared to working for a whole family. And I didn't have a lot of trouble with my studies, so it was just a lot of fun. And my mother didn't allow much goings on when we went to school. We went to school to go to school. We didn't go to teach the teachers. We didn't go to, wrestle the teachers. We just went and we behaved ourselves. And even though I was that far away from home, which was about 40, 50 miles, I could still, feel the slap of her hand, I guess. So I just sort of attended to my business. I watched the other adventures and other things, but I pretty much left that alone and stayed with my studies and students, and we had a great time. And my thing with Swift was, it was family. Everybody loved everybody and helped all the students, as far as I know, helped each other. And the teachers were genuinely interested in the students. They weren't just there for salary. If they had been, they'd come home or stayed home. But they were interested in our education, and they helped us always as much as they could. I remember some of those, well, I call them strange meals that we had, for lack of a better word. And even though it was a strange meal, it was still one of my favorites. It was, we had salmon cake and syrup and biscuit. And gosh, I'd never had anything like that before. But anyway, I wasn't a picky eater as such, but I guess that was just one thing. And of course, I met the man that I married there, and we ate breakfast every morning. And it seems like, well, like I say, some of the meals were good, but I was used to country cooking and, eating what was put before me. I don't think I ever had it after I left Swift. I enjoyed it there, but that's not one thing that I cooked, even for my children. I think another reason that I did not get into many things was because my brother was there. He was a teacher, and he had the reputation of being very hard on his students, so I carefully avoided his classes.
I had a class on him.
Yeah, but he was, all of the students said he was really good. And I sort of, my mother sort of favored the boys in the family, and I kind of lived in their, I felt I did, lived in their shadow. But in retrospect, I think she sort of held them up as an example to me, so I would try a little harder to do things. It was her way of challenging me to do what I could do. And but I just sort of felt like she favored them. She thought they could conquer the world, and I was determined to prove that I could at least conquer half of it. If they could, if they could conquer the whole world, I could at least conquer the half. So that was sort of inspirational. But there were lots of people who had gone to Swift and taught in the schools in Johnson City that I attended. And the Cope family was from Rogersville. William Cope, and then there's all of them. There was about 2 or 3 teachers out of that family. And like I say, Mr. Armstrong was my principal all the time that I was in Langston, and that was like, we had, I went to Langston in the 6th grade. My class was the only class that attended Langston. At the 6th, all the other classes went in the 7th grade. And he would go to the pool room and get the boys if they were cutting classes and, go to the movies, if they were at the movies, he would get them, and it just, you know, had a great influence on my life and upbringing, so I thought Swift would be the place to go.